Hi guys, hello everyone. How you doing? Yeah, it's a little bit harder to find me. I'm sorry, oh my hair is all there was a little bit of wind when I was. So, yeah, it's a little bit hard to find me because I'm using another account to get there. So I know a lot of you might not be notified that I'm live. So always go to the group and look to see if I'm live. You might not see like Natalie Restored is live. So that's why you probably received a few friend requests from Nat Wrist, which is my avatar, which is my friend until everything get settled with my original page. So again, if you receive an invitation from Nat Wrist, she is my avatar. She is me. So it's not a scam. So beautiful ones. Today we're talking about a wonderful, wonderful topic because rarely spoken of from the spiritual point of view, or at least the energetic point of view. I know some people do it, um, but I think we're all ready to have a conversation around it. Okay, so today we're talking about the energetics of money for the light worker in service. Really, that specific topic. Money has different meanings, whether you're an entrepreneur or you are, you're young, you're old, you're an intuitive rising, but a light worker in service is dedicated to share his or her gifts or healing abilities to as many people as possible. So it means that it requires time, it requires energy, it requires um, it requires funding because this is the reality we're in. So we will talk to that specific kind of people, that kind of energy. So I can see that Natalie's here, AJ's here, Elizabeth's here. I know some other people are here. Please let me know you're live. Some people might be live as well on YouTube. Welcome. And again, if you're watching this as a replay, let me know. So, do you hear me well? I hope you do. I just want to check that technically we're all good. I'm going to change the microphone. And tell me if you hear a little bit better. And I hope you do. I hope you do. Hello, Joanne. I'm happy you're here. I'm so happy you guys found me. You don't know how much energy I'm putting on to try to find a way to connect to the group. If not, I would have no access at all. So I'm happy you're here. So before I talk about, yes, thank you. I know it's that little microphone, so it's a little bit clearer. So before we talk about the topic, I want to invite you again to tomorrow's masterclass. And because of what I'm experiencing with Facebook, I'm changing things a little bit. I will post it many times in the group for people to know. Tomorrow at 1:30 Pacific time, which is 4:30 Eastern time, which is, I'm trying to do all the time zones, which is 9:30 p.m. for the UK and 6:30 a.m. for Australia, we have a masterclass, a wonderful masterclass, which will hold a lot of data I haven't shared, at least not as in details. Things that I have uncovered while I was kind of stepping back for a little while due to different issues, family and personal. And at the same time, things I have learned. Maybe I had too much sun and wind today. And things I have learned from my students. Again, the interaction I have with you, with my students, is teaching me a lot, because through the work we do together, I see the type of energies that are coming through for them and through me. So I observe everything, and I'm starting to have some conclusions around what is happening right now for light workers that are working with me. But it's also something I kind of read on other groups. So tomorrow it's the Empowered Lightworker Masterclass. We're talking about how to own your power as a light worker and what needs to be cleared in order for you to access that divine aspect of who you are. When I mean power, I'm talking about the power of your intuitive gifts, but also the conviction that you're indeed a light worker, the certainty that you're here to make a difference, and anything else in the way is just an obstacle you can obviously surmount, you can overcome, you can deal with. And anything can come. And today's topic, the money, can be an obstacle for light workers, but it could also be family, it could be personal blocks you have because you want to be accepted, because you want to be seen, you don't want to be rejected. So we will talk about that in depth, and I will help you to really, I will give you hints how to do it on your own, and at least how to start activating you a little bit faster than just waiting for the universe to shift its energy and you hoping you will be part of the upgrade. You're always part of the upgrade, but there's a way to ride the wave, surf on the wave, instead of waiting at the bottom for everything to be shifted. So the link is in the description. It's a Zoom link. I can post it again here, but you might not have, the time to write it down. It doesn't matter. It's a, shortened link. If you do bit.ly/the Empowered Lightworker Masterclass, you'll get there. All you have to put is your name, your email, and then that's it. You'll get the link for tomorrow. The masterclass will be in the group for the replay for up to, I would say, until Sunday, to give everybody a chance to watch it as a replay. But those of you who will be coming live will have a little surprise. And I hope you can make it live. All right, are we ready to jump into the topic of the day? And before we do so, I will invite us to slow down. That's good for me too. Slow down. I was so worried technology would not be on my side today, that now I'm enjoying the fact that it's working. So let's close our eyes and simply focus. Focus on how we feel. And just monitor yourself. Scan your body and look for any kind of disharmony, of unbalance. Is there one side of your body that feels heavier? Do you feel that one organ is a little bit more inflamed, pushing on other organs, generating some kind of discomfort? Do you feel that some muscles are sore? Do you feel your heartbeat is a little bit more accelerated than usual, a bit faster than usual? Do you feel pressure on your forehead, temples, anywhere on your head? Either way, just take the time to scan your body as a way of recognizing that your body's trying to talk to you. You hear, you listen. And in the next minutes, we will offer your body, we will offer your heart, we will offer your mind a wonderful, well-deserved break from any mental activity. Take a deep breath in through the nose and release through the mouth until no more breath, like a big sigh of letting go. Let's do this 3 more times at our own pace and enjoy the process of releasing. Beautiful. This time, I want to ask you to visualize beautiful white light. The white light is there. You sense in your own way a vibration all around you, which is the sign that you have elevated your frequency. And now you're ready to receive data, cosmic data, but also data, coded data that may come through me, through words, through what may appear like a very third dimensional, intellectual, mental content. But that content, those words, are holding a frequency that will activate you. There will be some words that will activate or generate potentially a discomfort, potentially a memory, a vision, something that will definitely point out what needs to be looked at, what needs to be healed. And you won't just end the process as this session is ending. You will investigate. You will look for the support. You will do all the necessary work in order to heal that aspect of you that may have held an outdated belief around the energetics of money and everything it can help you accomplish to heal yourself, to upgrade your perception of your own abilities and the impact you can have on others. Money is also a mentor. And if you aligned beautifully to its frequency, it becomes an ally that it doesn't seem to be visible, but an ally that allows you to invite support, help, invest in yourself, but also in technology, in maybe some kind of assistance that will help you fulfill your mission. As I speak right now, you may or may not sense the energy of money. You may have a face coming through. You may have a form. You may have a color. You may have a multitude of different visions creating the notion of money. Take a few seconds for you to see how the energetics of money look like. Not in, again, its third dimensional form, a bank account, a dollar bill, a coin, stock market, possessions. No, you're really raising your awareness to a level where money is floating in the air. The energetics of money is accessible to all. You just have to tune into its frequency. And how do you do this? By looking inward and seeing what in you, around you, coded in you, does not allow the frequency of money to be fluid, to be easy, to be flowing. That's what we will do in the next minutes. But right now, just connect to the energy of money. Just connect to how it feels for you, how it looks like. Allow a shape, a color, a form, maybe a human shape. And if it can speak to you, let it speak to you. If it can share any kind of information regarding the relationship you have with it, just have a chat with it. It's not really more different than having a chat with your higher self or any other light being. It's just an energy, and we gave it a third dimensional shape, but it exists there as a cosmic support to help us, and humans have transmuted it into what it is, but it still exists in the most beautiful, in the most empowering form, accessible to all. If we allow ourselves to see that it exists beyond its physical and material reality. I will give all of us 30 seconds to stay in that vision and see if there's a communication happening. Perfect. So take a deep breath in through the nose and release. We will talk about more practical things to help you deal with this and deal with the image or the perception you have around money and what may have been encoded within you around money. And how does it feel first? Did you guys see anything? Did you guys have a conversation with the energy of money? Did it speak to you? Did it trigger something? Did it pinpoint something within you? Let me know. And while you do this, we're going to start. I have notes because I don't want to forget anything. So today we're going to talk about the energetics of money from an intuitive perspective, not from the third dimensional point of view. I'm not a business coach. I'm not a financial coach. I am just here to show you the multitude, the multiple realities that you can alchemize into allowing abundance to flow through you and in your reality. And somebody said, yes, flow is what came through. Wonderful. The first question I have for you, because today we're talking specifically for light workers in service. So my question to you is what is a light worker in service for you? What does it mean for you? And while I'm waiting for your answer, Natalie says she had a little conversation then with the energetics of money, loving, respectful, a bit of humor. Totally, I agree with you. Told me to let go. Flow interrupted by my parents. Yeah, there's a lot of programming and encoding, like really mental and collective encodings that are coming from family and society. Now, again, what does it mean for you to be a light worker in service? I will read your answers, but while they come through, a light worker in service is a light worker who is developing his or her intuitive powers. It's a light worker who totally understands there's something out there. There's no need to prove it. And that light worker, you, is already working with the energies, is already sharing, or at least, if not sharing with many people, at least the light worker in service sees that he cannot hold these ability for themselves. It's all about sharing. It's really moving you to another level. It's moving you to the level of, I am an intuitive, I am a light worker, I'm a star seed, I connect to my higher self, I'm connected to my guides and light beings. That's the first part. You start to up level, you start to switch to the next level when you start to realize that, okay, now that I know I have those gifts, even though you may need to upgrade them, even though you may need to reinforce and master them, it's the strong desire that you need to share them. It's the strong desire that you need to be of service. As soon as you feel that in your core, then you're starting to program yourself differently. You're on another tangent, you're on another road, you're on another journey. It's going to be a journey of how can I be of service? You're starting to look for ways to connect to people, to let people know. And through this process, you will meet a lot of obstacles that are bringing back to you your own unresolved issues. You'll realize that to share your gift, because it's a calling, because it's vital, you will need to enter the system. And most of the time, light workers and intuitives and healers do not always fit well in the system, but suddenly, in order to reach most of humanity, you have to follow the communication channels that have been created by humans: social media, events, advertising, promoting, marketing yourself, being out there, telling people who you are for the first time. I'm a light worker. I'm a light worker mentor. I'm helping light worker uncover their mission and to be of service with ease and flow. Start to tell that to the world. Start to connect with people who are also vibrating at the same frequency. And that takes you out of your little cocoon into a dimension of collective connection. And that can rock you. This is a light worker in service. Does it resonate with you? Can I have some yeses? Can I have some thumbs ups or hearts just for me to see if you guys resonate with this? And these are the people I'm talking to today. All right. So yes, ma'am. Yes, thank you so much. So, yes, wonderful. So, of course, as a light worker in service, you may decide to trade your services for money or simply, for the pleasure, depending on your financial situation. Maybe you're working full time and sharing your gifts is just a hobby, so you don't need really the money, and it's fine like that. No judgment. Again, your frequency, your experience, your mission, it's all a unique thing. You might just have, I don't know, money coming in from another source, or for you can dedicate yourself full time to be a light worker in service without having the need to charge. That is another beautiful thing too. You might be somebody working full time in a job you don't like anymore, and you're starting to transition slowly. Then you're starting to work. So right now, if it's your case, you're starting to charge in order to eventually let go slowly of the other job and to finally work full time. Or maybe you're already working full time as a light worker, but you're not charging at a rate that allows you to make a decent living. So you're always off. The vibration with money and the relationship with money is still a little bit off. So you're somewhere in one of these categories, and you're probably shifting from one to another. It's totally normal. So your behavior around money is influencing your objectives too. I mean, if you hold a frequency around money that is more restrictive because you're scared to invest in whatever could potentially bring you money in the future, of course, then you're restraining, you're holding back your ability to reach your objectives. We need to fit somehow a little bit in the system and work with it. I just wish we were in another dimension and everything we were sharing with one another was just like breathing oxygen. It would be enough to feed everyone. It would be enough. That is a wish a lot of us have, but we still need to work with the system. And when you work with the system, it doesn't mean you are losing your integrity and your value as a light worker. It doesn't mean that you have to agree to everything. There's so many things we disagree with, and that's totally understandable. But there are things that can hold a positive frequency if you're using it in a way that will do good. Some people can use Facebook, social media, in a really negative way, while us here, we're using it to connect, to share our experiences, and obviously to uplift each other. That is a positive way. We need to use parts of the system. And that requires, again, as soon as you are in service, as soon as you feel it in your body,
you need to find ways to finance this. You are becoming an entrepreneur. You're becoming a business person without holding the negative vibration you may associate to that word, to that frequency. You can be a soulpreneur, an entrepreneur that respects the fifth dimensional energies and higher energies. You decide that. But because of how things work, you need to really look at all the blocks you may have around money. If not, you will always struggle, and it will be hard for you to find the financing, the support, the financial support that will help you to be out there. I mean, it's true. Some people, like if I take my example, some people might say, "Oh, Natalie, you're not cheap." Yeah, well, you're not cheap either. I'm not going to give you a cheap service because I value your growth. I value your awakening. And I know this is what you need. You need that type of energy, that amount of time. But everything I receive is recycled. It allows me, of course, to live, to have a life, but there's always something you invest in to reach people, to let them know you exist, to offer them your services. So think of it as an energy that is being recycled. And of course, if you fear money, if you despise money, if you have a family history around money where if you're rich, it's like you're greedy. You need to work 40, 50, 60 hours if you want to make a decent living. If you make 100,000 a year, then you've probably that's it. You have sold your soul to the system, whatever the beliefs were in your family. But that will just set everything around you. If you think of money as it's hard to get, it's hard to create, it's hard to manifest, you will mirror that back. And your clients, the ones you want to help, will see themselves in you. They will see, oh, okay, she's charging $75 per hour. Okay, you will just attract people who can pay $75. It doesn't mean like, look, my prices are in thousands. Of course, it's working over a few months together. I do have things that are in the hundreds, but usually I'm not there with them all the time. And it's the way it is. It's the way it is because think of it. You can charge $50 per session. How much sessions will you need in order for you to make a decent living? It's still a work that requires a lot. It's energy. It's a lot. You need self-care as well. So think of it. How many sessions do you need per week, per month, in order to make a decent living? We're not talking about $20,000 a year. We're talking about a decent amount of money that allows you to practice self-care, take care of yourself, and invest in anything you need to invest. So you realize that if you do charge $75, you will be drained. You won't be able to continue. So eventually you have to come to the realization that it's better to have different offerings for different people, some cheaper, some free. There's no way I could offer so much content for free if I didn't have serious involved students that are also helping me help others. You understand? But if I was meeting, and I used to do that, I started at 75, then I realized it doesn't work. Then I think the highest I did before switching into the intuitive realm was $300 for an hour and a half with me. It was more hypnosis, but intuitive reality, intuitive gifts were already jumping in. But how many do you need per week in order to make a living that is decent? If you have a family, if you have pets, if your family lives in another town, in another country, you need to visit them. There's so many things that you need to take account, or you need to think of. And when you think of this, you realize, well, I'd rather work with less people instead of having 50 people if a month and feel depleted and not even having time to meditate, to grow your intuitive powers. It's a choice. Some people might go through the quantity over the quality. Doesn't mean that because you meet 50 people, your work won't be a quality work. But eventually, I know that you will be depleted. I went through this. A lot of people want to go the usual way, meaning I charge per hour. And then you realize that in our reality, in the Lightworker reality, we need to review how we do business, how we do work. So you use the system, you mimic the system, you get the best from the system, whatever serves your goals, your objectives as a light worker in service. But nothing stops you from saying, I'm not charging per hour. I'm charging for the outcome I can provide. If I'm helping a person connect to their higher self, if I help a person understand their soul mission, if I help a person heal their fear of telling their family I'm a light worker as I'm just channeling light language, and yes, I'm a woman, I'm okay with it, and I'm going to leave my whole job to focus more on this, then this is life-changing. And that comes back to really attracting people who see themselves as worthy of receiving such shift. So a lot of things may stop you from reaching that level at this point. Do you guys have issues with the idea of money? I know today's chat will be a little bit longer, but I started a little bit later too. Do you have any feelings, any beliefs around money you feel that are blocking you? Most beliefs are or programming, or connected to karmic entanglements. So past lives where you had lives where you were poor, where you had lives where you were lacking money, or you were anything that hasn't been resolved at the end of the past life and was passed on. Karmic entanglements. It's important to look at that. Maybe you're carrying some of that. Then there's the program patterns, anything from your family. There, how many generations were in poverty, or maybe your family was very rich and they were doctors, they were they were extremely wealthy, and suddenly you decide to take another road and your family's not supporting you. That's more a programmed pattern, an ancestral pattern that needs to be looked at as well. You also have the collective coding. It's the perception people have about money in general, how you can make money. And that's why you have to be extremely inventive. Yeah, you have to be inventive. You're inventing something different. You're inventing ways. Oh, my video keep freezing. Is it the case for everyone? I hope not. Let me know, guys, if the technology is, we're talking about a very important topic, so technology vibrations might be high. So yeah, we're inventing another way of doing business, something very respectful. We're taking time with people, we're holding them. We want to make sure that we go to the core of what they're experiencing, so we can heal it, so we can hold them, so they can become extremely empowered on their own. So I hope you can see me. I hope technology is working. I don't know. It's so many things are happening right now that there's things I cannot control. Somebody says, I know that I must have blocks given I have lived month to month for the past 20 years as I raised my kids. I also have a blind spot around this as I have not found the block yet. Video is fine for somebody else. Yeah, so you need to work around that because we're working with that energy. But if you get out of the system and you create your own work, your own hours, your own way of working, um, you're suddenly allowing yourself to create another reality. But yes, you need to really check what the blocks are. It's important. If not, it will be a lot longer. Okay. So most of the blocks, I just said the three potential origins. So karmic entanglements, program patterns, collective coding. When it comes to your person, you have to review, how do you accept yourself? How do you accept yourself as being different? Do you accept yourself with the desires, with the objectives, with the mission you have? Or do you accept yourself being really different and having to maybe take actions to build a reality that works for you, to build a system, a job from A to Z that works for you? Do you have that self-confidence to do it? Which means maybe having people judging you for a while, people telling you, well, I told you it's not working, or told you, you will be facing a lot of challenges as you are stepping out of the system to say, I'm creating my own work. So review your self-acceptance, how you accept yourself in this Lightworking mission. Review your self-confidence level. How much can you tell the world this is what you're doing? This is how much you're charging. And your self-worth. If you don't think you can actually bring massive changes to others, then the prices you share, that you charge, will be a reflection of this. It might require you to practice a little bit, but as soon as you evaluate and see and observe that you're indeed igniting positive changes in people, then you don't need 100 clients with positive results to confirm over and over that what you're doing is potent. So what is important to remember is that when people say to me, you're not cheap, I always answer, hello, Sam. I always answer, you're not cheap either. You wouldn't want to work with somebody who is not focused on your results, on the outcome. It doesn't mean rich is better. I mean, very expensive is better. You need to, of course, evaluate who you're going to work with. Same thing for you with your clients. You also need to evaluate, are they the ideal clients to work with you? But it is important for you to hold and remember what you bring to others. And if you need to do it 3, 4, 5 times for free, always an exchange of energy. Just ask for a testimonial, ask for something. But as soon as you realize that 5 times do I get results that are actually proportional to that person's experience, then it's time to charge. And of course, you can increase your prices. And of course, you can decide, I'm not doing single sessions anymore, unless if it's for a student who needs a kind of a follow-up. It's really rare. It's all about working over a few weeks, as I'm doing in July, or over a few months, because I do not want to spread my energy everywhere. I know what works for me, but it took me a while. I worked 12 years, blocks of 3 sessions, a package of 3 sessions. And I realized that people needed more. You need to accompany your patients, your clients, your students over a period of time. There's always time for them to integrate things. It requires time. So you need to be there for a little while with them. So let's see what will trigger you right now. And please, as soon as it triggers you, just write in the comments what it is. No judgment. Some of them I wrote myself are still triggering me. How do you know it's triggering you? It's like either it feels off, either you feel like a little bit shy, you want to hide, or even your body could actually get tense. So let's talk about the collective perception about the intuitive services, because that's very important. If you attract people who don't believe in the potency of the intuitive and alternative health, healing, support, then of course nobody will invest in you. So the collective perception is that it should be free or cheap. And again, tell me in the comments if it triggers you. It's going to be an hour chat with you. It was supposed to be 30 minutes, but I hope you enjoy the conversation. So it should be free or cheap because it's a gift given from the ethers, from God, from whomever. It should be cheap or free. I heard that in the past. I don't hear that anymore, but I heard that in the past. If you hear that very often, there's something in your frequency that is letting you know that you attract that because a part of you believes that maybe you're not really legit. Another collective perception about intuitive services, it's not recognized. There's no really any kind of education that backs that up. I like, guys, when you say nope. It's good. You're telling me when it doesn't resonate with you. Yes. And again, if it doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't mean that you won't meet a client who's telling you this, but chances are you won't attract many of these guys. And it's good. Again, your frequency is clear. You don't attract that anymore. So it's not recognized by any kind of education system. It has no collective value. If there's not a certification anywhere, then why do you charge a few hundreds, a few thousands for this? Again, us, we know it's the outcome. Them, they don't. Another one, okay, no certification, no recognition, meaning you're not recognized as somebody who can provide a change. You're not recognized as somebody who is serious about it. You're not recognized as a person who can deliver something, because we cannot go back to an association. We cannot go back to anything that proves it. It goes back to the same thing, but when you realize you're not recognized, like if I started to be a lawyer, there's like, just having your diploma and people will be like, oh my God, they know so many things. I have to be careful. Like the vibration, the collectivity has created around certain jobs. It's like they would give you so much, So just know that you will be facing this. There will be a time where people will say, it's not recognized. Why would I pay you so much? Again, was given to you by the universe. So, you're not really working. It's just for fun. It's a hobby. How many times, I heard that when I was younger. I don't hear that anymore because I went through the hypnotherapy door. So I kind of unconsciously introduced myself and my clients to that. But yeah, it's a collective perception, and you know that you can create a job, but there's not a system that is going to take you. Let's say you're a doctor, you study to be a doctor, then you just go to a clinic, you go to a hospital. It's going to be quite easy, or I should say easier. I shouldn't say easy, but it will be easier for you to find a clientele. You can be a banker, that you go to a bank. This is where bankers are working. There's a system waiting for you after your graduation, after your certification. What happens to you once, let's say, you work with me? We have developed your intuitive powers. You're working with a few people. You trust your powers. Now, I mean, you have to search. You have to search who you're going to work next. You have to search who you're going to work next in order to attract those people you want to work with. There's not a system that says all light workers are in the intuitive clinics. If you're looking for a healer, if you're looking for a psychic, if you're looking for a mentor, you can go to that school, you can go to this. You have to work a lot harder to be seen. That requires energy, that requires a lot of tenacity, a lot of focus. That's where we are losing a lot of light workers. We're losing them because A, they don't make a decent living in the first 6 months. That's it. It's not going to work. It doesn't work like that because you are, hello Giselle, I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for joining. Because you're not held by a system that takes you from point A to point destination, which is I'm making a job, I'm making money, I know where to go every day. So every time you need to find at myself, once I have developed my powers, how could I promote myself? Okay, Facebook, it's great, but there's some strategies. You cannot just offer your stuff for free everywhere. You have to know exactly who you want to work with. There's some steps, and I had to build a program that really helped me that. And it requires a certain vocabulary, a certain technical tools, and I needed help for that. So it's as if you're in the school of the intuitive light worker life, but you're looking for your teachers, you're looking for your mentors, you're looking for the technician who's going to help you. It's not there. It's not in the institution. It's not in. So it requires a lot of work, but you, through that journey, you clear all your fears about being different. You clear all your fears about not being confident, not being good enough, scared of speaking in public. There's so many fears that are being sent back to your face that it's one of the most rewarding job you can have. Honestly, process. You could also be a yoga teacher. You could be whatever requires you to step out of the mainstream and build your career and build your budget, build your offering, build your schedule, build everything. You will need, of course, you will need coaches, you will need mentors, you will need a lot of support along the way. You cannot do that on your own. You may develop intuitive powers, but eventually you will feel lost with the profusion, with the amount of offerings out there, because again, there's no clear structure. So you need to know who you want to work with in order to be clear around what you want to offer to whom and to charge a rate that feels aligned with you. So I just wrote something before and I will read it to you and tell me how this resonates with you. That's my perception based on my own experience and observing people in my group, people in marketing groups. There's a lot of groups I belong to that are helping us promote ourselves, helping us deal with things that usually intuitives don't know well how to deal with. And I will answer your comment, Elizabeth. And I forgot what I wanted to say. And yeah, by observing people, light workers, healers, intuitives, visionaries, pioneers in the intuitive world, we all have something in common. How do we allow people to find us, to know what we're doing, and not feeling off? It's a lot of work, but it's rewarding in the end. And before I share what I wanted to say, and we will gently conclude with this, Elizabeth says, now I'm afraid that I'm too old for that. I had clients, I think the oldest client I had was she came to see me before the confinement. And she says, Natalie, I'm a light worker. I'm a healer. I think she was 82. And she says, I'm 82. I took care of my family. I'm from another generation. And I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to take care of myself. I know I need healing because I neglected myself. I did not listen. I repressed because I was scared. I'm ready. That was the most, well, I shouldn't say the most because every experience I have with you is amazing. But knowing that that woman said, hey, I said, doesn't matter, I'm alive. The calling to be of service didn't die down because she said later, later, later. Yeah, some people say, I'm 56, I'm 64. I mean, doesn't matter. There's an essence going through you that is meant to help others. Some people are artists here. They heal people by expressing light codes through their drawings. The age is it's just a number again, a system puts us in to say, you work between 18 and 65. After that, that's it. Do you think I'll retire at 65? I doubt it. Even if I had enough money to do so. Why? Because I wake up every morning wanting to help people. There's not a single day. There's not a single day. I had dreams. I have dreams. I wake up. What does it mean? How am I supposed to apply that? I was a little bit away from my usual work because of, again, illness and family issues. It shifted me a lot. And I was like, thank you, bring the information. How am I going to use that to help people? It's too much fun to stop. Of course, it's too much fun. But again, you have to check your reality. Fun can be definitely merged with the seriousness of the work, the responsibility of being there. Okay? So thank you for those comments. Wherever you are in the world, it's true. Imagine a person who is in a very poor country who has a healing gift and she or he wants to help others. Then we're lucky. We have the internet. There's a way for me to help others and I can receive payment. So even if I'm somewhere in a small town with not much resources and my home is only 2 rooms, my living room, my kitchen or my bathroom and the minimum, I can still make a living. And eventually you'll get out of a smaller apartment. But it's all about frequency. We're going beyond the energetics of money at this point. But it's crucial to know how strongly the calling is speaking through you. You may quiet it down, but it will come back. And the only thing you will create in your reality is frustrations. So I wrote this, and please, and thank you guys when you tag each other. Please continue to do that. If you know anyone who is interested, simply because Facebook is not showing as much my presence online. It's not notifying people, again, because I have some technical issues with them, which will be hopefully resolved soon. Thank you for that. I appreciate it a lot. I appreciate a lot. So we're pioneers. There's a responsibility with pioneers. We are showing the world that everybody can have intuitive powers, or I should say we all have intuitive powers, but everyone can express them. Some are a little bit more advanced. So they're here. That's us. That's us. We are more advanced a little bit. Again, I'm not talking from hierarchy here. We're more advanced because we have done the work. So we are We have a knowledge because we have practice and we're here to pass it on and awaken everybody. Every time you work with your clients and you heal them, you help them, you do a massage, a Reiki session, an energy healing, you're doing an art for them, you are channeling for them, you're mentoring them. You are also connecting with their families, with their friends, well, with their network, and we're opening everybody's. We're always talking about awakening, global awakening. Where do you think it's starting from? It's not to specifically talking to 100 people at the time. It's also doing what you do with your clients, and that's where you're so crucial. So you're a pioneer. It's always the same way. When it's the end of the day, I'm starting to lose my words. We're pioneers. We need to demonstrate our value. We need. Nobody will, I mean, some people will look for you because they believe in it, but most people, you will have to really demonstrate that what you do is real. That's why I still offer short, free activations, shorter ones, 8 minutes. It's just to demonstrate the potency of my work. Because if I'm telling people I channel your higher self, your star team, so you can develop your intuitive powers and become autonomous and know everything about your soul mission, it's not like saying I'm a doctor. If I'm saying I'm a doctor, people know exactly what I can provide. If I'm saying I'm a light worker mentor and this is what I do, people might not always fully understand. So there's a need to demonstrate. Be aware there's a need to demonstrate what you do. There's a need to prove the potency of your work. Again, it's not mainstream yet. You will talk way, way more than, again, a therapist. You know, when you're looking for a psychologist, nobody really needs to explain to you what a psychologist does, what a mechanic does. We know it's in our reality, it's in the collective. But what can a energy healer, a channeler, a lightworker coach, an intuitive coach can do? You need to spend way more time to tell the collective, to tell people you know, and to be online, which social media is good for that. We reach a lot of people if you're clear around your message, if you understand your mission. So that's another job. We are pioneers this way, to use the system to promote our movement. Yes, we need to use the system. You don't need to be enslaved by the system. Obviously, we're not, because we're outside the system, creating our own job, our own offerings, creating our own schedule, our own content, you know, our own process. So that makes us already outside the system. But to reach those who need us, who are still maybe are not awoke, you know, is it the right term? They're not awakened. Yeah, they're not awakened yet. How are you going to reach them? It's not in a group of light workers like you. They have their own tools. It's through, of course, we can help one another as light workers, but again, you're part of the awakening process. You need to reach as many people as possible. And you need to use the system. Again, what is the system for us? Social media, emails, congress, seminars, retreats, self-care. When you take care of yourself, of course, you elevate your frequency. That helps you to go through the whole process. But you might meet other people that are in that same program, that same community. So that is important as well. And remain in your own integrity. That's important. Again, take the best of the system. Remember what your soul mission is. Again, if you're not sure, that's where you contact me. I'm here to help you, that you don't hesitate. But when I activate people, like honestly, when people work with me, we unlock their intuitive powers. We clear all their blocks, including the money ones, if that's their reality. But family blocks, ancestral blocks, karmic blocks. We strengthen the connection with the higher self. We strengthen soften the connection with their guides. We we help them elevate their frequency. We help them understand what their soul mission is. The only thing I cannot help you with is what comes after. Marketing yourself, talking in public about what you do. I'm activating you in that whole process, but you still need to do work after that. Get up and say, how today will I share my magic? It is important. And remaining in your integrity is remembering your mission. It's remembering why you're here on the planet, using which tools. And if one day you realize you're not attracting as many people, you're not selling as much, people don't answer your post, or people say it's too expensive, it's not good enough, blah, 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 remember why you're here. The system, the path hasn't been designed, hasn't been paved for us. That's why it's very different from any other jobs. And we really need to work hard on this. So it requires persistence. It requires consistency. I help my students with this while they're in my vortex. And of course, after that, it's really up to you to continue the journey. So there's a lot of consciousness, of awareness you need to bring around that. Taking charge of your destiny will reprogram people's minds. Yeah, you become the mirror through your experience, and yes, struggles, ups, downs, success, failures, money coming in like massively because people are seeing your offerings, and then 2 months later, a bit less. This is a life. This is a life of a light worker until you reach a level where things are flowing more regularly because your energy is more at peace, is an acceptance, is still, you recognize who you are and what you can do. So invest in yourself, show others. It's really hard for people to pay you what you feel you're worth it. Remember your worth. Remember that your price, your rates will change, your offerings will change depending on the time you want to give to this, depending on the outcome you can provide, on your experience, on your ability to express what you do, and that you have to accept that kind of fluctuation. But there's one thing: if you're not ready to invest in yourself to get the support you need, whether it's on the intuitive side, that's where I am. But if ever, let's say you master your powers and you need to market yourself, or you're not very good with Facebook, well, somehow you might need to find the support. So wherever you're at right now, you need to find the support, because if you are saying, oh, she's charging that amount, he's charging that amount, I think I would love to work with that person, but I don't know where to find the money, then chances are that you will meet a lot of clients who will think the same way, because you will mirror this back. Elizabeth, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's again, it's a question of energetic. It's a question of what you project. As soon as you know that you're worth the energy you put in order to help others but yourself along the way, then you will attract people who will see the value you have accumulated, the value you have gathered, and that's very important. So I will end with a little story I read yesterday, and I think it falls on point. And the conversation remains open even when that video ends. Feel free to do that. It's the story, and I hope I will just say it perfectly. It's the story of a boat. It's the story of a boat. It's a boat, actually, the engine of a boat broke down. Its captain, its mechanics, nobody knew how to fix it. So they waited, and they realized that the more they were waiting, the more they were losing money. They had to pay for docking. They had to pay for maintaining the goods they were supposed to deliver. It was crazy. They waited weeks, and they started to realize that they were losing more money by letting their goods die, rot. They were realizing they were losing money by hoping that their team, their employees could fix it, until one day they said, that's enough. We don't have the knowledge, we don't have the expertise to just repair that engine. Let's find somebody. And they found somebody with the knowledge. It was an older person, and that's what the story says. It was an older person. And that person came in, and because that person was old, this thing, oh, maybe it's not cheap, it's not expensive, and it's going to be reasonable and all that. That person uses a hammer and simply, just slams the engine, and boom, the engine starts. Everybody's like, oh my God, that's all? It took you like, what, 30 seconds to exactly start the engine again. And everybody was looking at each other wondering, how come we didn't know that? How come it was so easy? So that's it. Everybody was happy. And the boat was ready to go. But the old man, the old person, the repair person sent them the bill. And the bill was in tens of thousands, dozens of thousands, I should say. And like their jaw just dropped. So they called that man and said, how come you're charging so much? It took you just like 5 minutes, not even, to start the engine, and you're charging us $10,000 for that? Well, they're saying that the man replied, yeah, it's true. It's actually, my expenses are as such, or my fees are as such. It's, $10 for the use of the hammer, but the balance is my expertise. It's the fact that I knew what to do and you didn't. That's where the value is. I changed your reality. The boat is working. You're not stuck in doubt. You're not stuck in losing all your resources, all your goods. My expertise in those very specific case as the value, and this is the value. So I want you to stay with this, because this is what we do. We're bringing an expertise, we're bringing a process that not everybody can do. It's a unique way of helping people heal their pains, their suffering, and their doubts. And that has a value because of how much work you did to get there, how much focus you put in order to be there where you are. And that's the value. And because you are really shifting their lives to a point that they cannot compare where they are to where they used to be, you have changed their lives. They're not stuck anymore. And that will change their future. And that's where the value of the work is. So I hope you like my little story, but it's just, again, the concept of because you don't spend much time or because it happens quickly, that's it. Yes. So I'm just simply reminding you, tomorrow we have a wonderful, wonderful masterclass. Here's the link. I don't know if you guys can see it. If you're in the group, you might not see it. I'm posting it again. The masterclass is at 1:30 Pacific time, 4:30 Eastern time. You need to register. This has changed. You need to register. It's very easy. Name, email, that's it. You automatically get the link. If you don't have the link, you won't be able to participate. And I will do my best for the masterclass to be broadcasted in the group, but I won't interact with the group, meaning that if ever you want to ask me a question, or if ever I'm inviting somebody in, you need to be on Zoom. I need to see you. I need you to be there. So it's not complicated. You'll get the link through you get the Zoom link through this link. So I hope to see you tomorrow, guys. Until then, I know, look, an hour 15 together. I think it needed to be said. When I wrote the content of today's chat, I said there's way more than just 30 minutes of content. Anyways, I wish you a great day, everyone, and a great evening, a great morning, wherever you are in the world. I hope to see you tomorrow. Invite people over. It's the Empowered Lightworker Masterclass. I will definitely share with you aspects of my work that I don't always share because it is a new download, a new aspect of what I do. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being there. Bye bye.